Hey folks, this is Justin from the Leonidas Knives and Gear channel. I hope this video finds you well. This one's going to be more of a topic discussion slash rant, and I hope I can keep this as structured and concise as I can. This is going to be titled something along the lines of why I do not recommend throwing your knives. And what I mean by knives are something, say take this Half-Breed Blades LSK01 for example. This is a high-end premium tactical combat survival type knife, and I really took a liking to this knife, and I tested it very aggressively. There's a full review up there, and all the testing I did, the one test that I stayed away from was throwing that knife, and I personally have several reasons for that, and also I have several reasons for making this video. I've had multiple chats with friends and acquaintances over the years about knife throwing, tomahawk throwing, hatchet throwing, and I myself, I'm not really into that. I'm not very skilled with throwing knives or tools. Occasionally I'll take something like this cold steel trench tomahawk. I'll take this, throw it around into a board or something like that, but that's just like a recreational type thing. I'm not doing that to really test this or anything like that. I think I've thrown it in the past and put some stuff on YouTube. But this is a $50 tomahawk, and to me, cold steel puts out a pretty solid tool for a decent price. So, if I throw it 100 times and I break it on 101st time, that's on me. It's just one of those things. But if I were to take this LSK01 and I were to throw it, and it's to, take a glancing blow off an oak tree and then, smash into a rock and break in half, that's on me as well, and I'm out of this knife. And I think a lot of this comes from people, watch a lot of movies with firearms, knives, and things like that. And Hollywood has really, made, over the years, they've made knife throwing seem like a very practical, obviously, very cool thing to do. Video games have impressed that on people. I remember Call of Duty, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, had that, that combat throwing knife that you could, snipe somebody across the map, which is unrealistic, but it gets people thinking like, oh man, that's awesome. You take a knife like that, and hey, I'm sure they're thinking like that people, maybe somebody out there has done that or could do that, and maybe there is. Once again, it's unrealistic. Also, a lot of this knife throwing stems from recreational use. People get bored at a campsite, and you take one of your knives and throw into a tree or something like that, and that's fine too. But me personally, I'm not going to be the guy throwing my $300 knife into the oak tree. That's not me. Maybe $15, $20 Swedish Mora, something like that, and that's understandable at that point. So that's where a lot of that stems from. Hollywood, video games, and just people wanting to do these things for recreational use. Now groups of people, say the Native Americans, they trained and were proficient with using tomahawks and using them in combat. But once again, let me repeat that, they trained to do that, and they were proficient with it. They probably also understood that they may lose this tomahawk, or they may break this tomahawk. I'm sure they had more on their belt, or they would try to retrieve that later after the battle. But that's not something that I'm personally trained to do with knives or tomahawks. Also, a really big thing with major knife companies, I know the ESEE warranty, the ESEE knives warranty, they are super against throwing knives. It says something like they don't want idiots or stupid people throwing their knives, which is pretty funny. I suggest you go read that. I'll probably leave a link to that in the description box of the video. Tops Knives, I just read their warranty a few minutes ago. They do not cover throwing, misuse, or abuse. Also, Half-Breed Blades, they do not cover that as well. I'm not sure about Cold Steel. You might could get away with that. I don't know. They have some. I have their Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. That's an awesome bushcraft style shovel, and you could definitely throw that. And if you broke the handle on that, you could get a replacement probably fairly cheap. So there's that. But once again, back to the to the topic on hand of why I don't recommend. There are many reasons, including breaking the knife, losing the knife. In fact, I have read other guys who are against it and read their accounts of it. Is why would you throw away a perfectly good tool, even if it was like a survival or a, you know, fighting type situation? That really could end up being a very poor choice if you were to throw your knife, say it was at an opponent and you missed, and it was the only knife you had. You're unarmed at that point, so you're now disadvantaged because your tool, your knife is now gone and possibly irretrievable. It could disappear. Actually, this one right now, I need to put a bright lanyard on it, because if I were to throw this off in the woods out here, say 20 yards, I might not be able to find it. Pretty much all of my high-end knives put a very bright lanyard on it. But yeah, I missed this guy the other day, so I think I was swapping some lanyards around. But anyway, so yeah, I don't include knife throwing in any of my tests. Once again, I'm not really skilled in that. I'm not proficient. I don't practice at it, and I think it's just a very unpredictable way to test a knife. And for those of you guys who have seen some of my knife testing, you know I'm pretty extreme when it comes to knife testing. This one right here, I actually smashed through a cinder block with it, and that wasn't necessarily for fun. That test actually, I read an article about, it was an RMJ Shrike. It was that awesome tactical tomahawk by RMJ Tactical, and I believe it was some Marines caught in a firefight somewhere in Afghanistan when that war was real hot and heavy, and they were pinned down in some sort of alleyway. They were pinned down from sniper fire, and they didn't have an exit. So one of them had that Shrike Tomahawk, and he took that thing and he went through a wall with that, and it was some sort of cement concrete type. Of course it obviously wasn't the strongest wall ever built, but he took that tool and he went through it. So that really impressed me over the years, and thought, hey, what if I was in some sort of crazy situation, and this was the only knife I had on me, and it was this, and I need an exit, and maybe I've got to go through a wall. And I got to say, say this knife right here, it might get you pretty far through that wall, just to be honest. So you can go see the test. I had a pretty good time with it. But once again, still not doing throwing tests over here. For people who want to see that, there are plenty of guys who throw their expensive, say Extreme Orazio knives or whatnot. You're just not going to see that on my channel. Probably Cold Steel Trench Hawk. Once again, if I break it, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be a little sad and upset, but that was just me being a goofball. Otherwise, you break an expensive knife like this one, or an Essie or a Tops, doing something goofballish, and you can try to get that covered under their warranty, but more than likely, those guys have been doing this for a long time, and they're probably going to figure it out, especially like when I say, hey, can you ship that knife to me, and then I'll ship you one back. They're going to get that, and they're going to go, huh, that looks like they threw that. Sure, Anyway, not how I would do it. Once again, not something I'm going to do. So if I see someone out there make a comment about, hey, can you throw this knife for a test on whether it's my videos or someone else's, I'm probably going to drop you a link to this video on a comment. And I want to end this video with also saying that this isn't, I'm not trying to be super negative about this. I'm just trying to provide awareness that there are reasons these companies do not warranty throwing their knives, because they're not designed to do that. If you want to throw a knife, make your own. Get a blank, cut it down, just make you a little, a nice little set of high carbon steel throwers, just with barely any points on there, versus a knife that cost you 100, 200, 300 more. Me personally, I'm not going to risk it, and my recommendation to you out there is don't risk breaking it, don't risk losing it, and don't risk having to try to fib your way through that warranty as well. So folks, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you could comment, I'd really love to read that and respond to it, especially with discussion type videos. And also, I've noticed that it's unfortunate in my past several videos, since I have rebooted my channel months ago, they have declined in viewership. So if you enjoyed this video, please also share it. If you know anybody who likes this type of content, who likes knife discussions, gear discussions, please you know, that would be awesome. And also, if you're not a subscriber, hey, we'd love to have you. So, folks, thanks again for your time.